Ahoy, my friends and family. My name's Trey, and today I'm going to talk to you from behind some very scratchy glasses about why shadow work is essential. Secrets and shadows keep you asleep and awakening in clarity. Cause I say the honest thing, believe you me. Where I gotta be is I'm gonna throw all my secrets to the day. Now can't you see we're a post-stage of secrecy and be truth in me? I'm gonna go throw all my secrets to clarity. I've talked so much about shadow work, and becoming a public teacher has taught me how easy it is to be a hypocrite in that way, but how challenging it is to actually do the shadow work or complete most of it even. That being said, the reason why shadow work is essential, obviously, is that secrets and shadows keep you trauma bound to the false reality. They keep you asleep. Secrets keep you asleep. Awakening in clarity. In these last moons of the so-called dragon year of 2024, the war to end all wars within your psyche and tragically externally sometimes too, is once again heating up. Or in my case, being exasperated by the artificial cold and added ingredients in the night. The Dark Lords seem to have done such a great job of dividing and conquering with boxes, money, fiat Ponzi scams, egos and contracts, the Nephilium reversal grid, the Archontic death grip powers. It seems like nothing is changing. Well, if I remain enmeshed in CNPD and narcissist collectives like the California government, codependent, unwilling to learn new skills, publish books, re-enter the sphere of capitalism while it still exists, or learn how to forage or hunt or fish, continue to learn how to be a potato farmer. In other words, if I don't learn self-sovereignty skills, well, it's easy to understand why some people don't like me, because I'm an amateur in certain ways. If I don't re-enter the sphere of capitalism or establish classes and structuralized trainings and healings since the Yahweh videos, all these 500 videos, this is all strictly voluntarily given, only long monologues that I wrote down on this notebooks and read to you. No chance of Peter Thiel possibly allowing me to, work with PayPal or Trumbull to get my full natural capitalistic payments for my offerings, because I'm not sure if he supports me. I've only earned 10 cents on Rumble, so So all of these videos are unaffecting my hermitage and isolation, certainly due to the so-called shadow ban or unliking by the establishment for the certain videos. And I'm unsupportive of nearly anyone if I believe what the beast says about it. Of course I don't, but they did halt my theological online discussions since then. you know, supposedly only having had 5 or 10 or 15 comments that were all just stuff like, you know, good job, or anyways, that's another story. Pure masochism. Am I doing this out of pure masochism, or because I am a covert narcissist to make more content, or do I exemplify? Am I a pure masochist to make more online content, or do I exemplify the online narcissist hypocrisy? Totally stuck up my own keister, yet pretending to serve everyone, huh? Stuck in trauma bonds for years, accepting of gaslighting, and worse, internalizing the false self's insistence that there is something wrong with me. You know, turning my back on the true nature of reality, the shamanic code that says that every single illness is, you know, well, the Chinese have a saying, the same word for crisis is opportunity. In Dagara, the North African country where Malidoma Somé grew up and became a shaman before he got two or three PhDs in white universities. Watch his video called "My Visit to the Psychologist to the Insane Asylum or the Crazy House," and it brought tears to my eyes because he said that all the people in there were healers, and that in Dagara, if somebody started acting crazy, the village elders and wise sages would surround them to determine what they were talking about, to figure out what their healing specialty would become. Probably over 90% of the time they're flipping out, they became a specialty in that type of medicine or that subject. You know, becoming accepting of gaslighting, and worse, internalizing the false self's insistence that there is something wrong with me takes a lot of practice to unlearn, especially with 2 or 3 deadly illnesses that often kill most of the people that get them. A tiny fraction of the duration I've put up with it. So however one justifies their smallness and argues for their limitations, in the end, you know, if I play victim, I am only an idiot. I am not a sacred clown. But does the hair look at all like Trump if he didn't have hair loss? That was one of the goals of that clowning experiment. That was one of the goals of that clowning shtick. Shtick, as they call it in Magic Wand Land. In Magic Wand Land, they call it shtick. But it's one of the reasons why it's the most exciting time that we could be alive, is because we can establish the electronic Library of Alexandria on YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, and your own website and platforms, and learn to discern once again the reality. But those who argue for their limitations, you know, we always see the false self of the Archontic interjects growing personal lies and dysmorphia, okay? Depression, anxiety that never goes away. Because whenever you accept, you know, how far you are down the scale of narcissistic personality disorder notwithstanding, obviously the further you are down the scale, the more you're likely to believe the archonic voices are you, as I've said many times. So, shadow banning effectively ruined this service in the aspect of conversation and grand numbers. Now I'm gradually building it back through guerrilla marketing, like handing out my own flyers, because I'll never give up sharing wisdom. That's right, it's one of my missions in this lifetime, this existence. Yes, perhaps it is an open secret that what I must do is blatantly obvious to everyone. What's wrong with me is blatantly obvious to everyone, or many people, including myself. Yet, the trauma bond can run so deep, the old habits can die so hard, that I'll still deny, or I'll still Even though I can attempt to teach the world to look at what's in the rear view, what's in the blind spot, I'll still have my own blind spots because I'm not done with the shadow work. It's a lot of work. It's serious. Yet I'll blatantly teach everyone, yet I'll still deny or procrastinate in the inevitable essentials. That's what it's like to be autistic or to be narcissistic or whatever you want to call it. Even simply my physical illness impression on my subconscious could be that depressing. Like my obvious need for insulation, bathing, and a sexual partner, for example. Like I could play a shaman or hermit or yogi and pretend like I could go without, regular interaction with other humans also, for example. But it's not the truth. So that's, of course, I love learning on books and online resources. And in my case, I thought this making videos would help with all these issues, but the truth can scare people away, and especially being the loudmouth, big mouth, who will just explicitly say the entire truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me Christ Divine Sophia, from my perspective. That one statement, or some of the statements they say in the law system, are accurate, like the preamble of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, and making a vow to say only the truth. USA and California have Sagittarius rising, so you're gonna have to make a vow to say only the truth to continue to rule over anyone. So instead of the governor of the state, he kept his own restaurant chain running while he forced all the others to lock down 4 years ago. So the proof's in the pudding, and follow the money. So, but the truth can scare people away, especially if I can say it all but still be unwilling to change, like many of them, still be in the same camp, still be in the same town, still be doing the same things, But I did, before I ever really got into making videos, I did dial in my habit mind into certain pragmatic objectives so that it wouldn't be too deadly like some people's, but whereas I'm still getting into the balance. I'll admit I'm still learning the basic balance at the late age of over 4 decades. So after over 1 million years of the negative aliens growing control over humanity through secret societies, blood oaths, and ritualized abuse, you are getting very, very, very sleepy unless you adamantly, consistently remember to awaken yourself from your death grip of sleep, just like Freddy Krueger, just like the Freddy Dunning-Krueger effect. If you stay asleep, you will never get up. Just like over 1 million years of the Dark Ones gaining control through blood rituals and ritualized abuse of all sorts, how evolved and aware has the human race become in reality? Far less aware as cyborg slaves than Celtic shamans that they once were, from my perspective, and will be in the future. Shamanism was individualistic, yet it had no racism, it had no separatism, it had complete equal respect for all beings. Whereas hive mind groupthink is alien imposed failure of thought. G. Edward Griffin came up with a really wonderful booklet or small book called The Chasm. You can upload from his website, theredpilluniversity.org. And he finally edited it down to the final PDF version and put it up this year. And it is a wonderful short book about why he believes in individualism above collectivism, even though he still remains on the coast of California, like similar to myself for a moment. And so check it out. It's a really good little short story, short book about the truth. So an obedient normie in 2024 will have triggers that act as mind slides, as Lisa Renee calls mind slides. For example, if you say the word aliens, if you say the word the devil, with some people, if you say the word God, if you say the word magic or witch, maybe due to past life or several lifetimes ago or this particular life, these are words that are often unapproved topics that will trigger them to ignore you, change the subject, or physically get away from you, talk to someone else, because it intimidates them, it triggered them. So all psyops and mind control operations in general are usually created in, guess what? Strict secrecy, of course. Many people simply go into cognitive dissonance or miasmas if you bring up secret societies, even that word. Secret societies, oh, that's a conspiracy. The Freemasons are totally open about everything they do. The 1%, the rabbis are totally open about, look at the circumcision ritual. That alone is enough to describe, point toward the origin of the whole thing. I mean, I had the surgical version. They made it look like a military helmet the first 5 minutes after I was born. How's that for birth trauma? Most of us have birth trauma too, folks. The 1% robber, because of these criminals established their rituals and they forced us into their institutions. See, the 1% robber baron elites built up their massive fortunes through running wars, coercions, threats, and takeover plans in general. With massive secrecy. Within 20 years of the passing of the Sherman Antitrust Act, I believe in 1891, Rockefeller figured out the ways to get around that. That was before they even created the allopathic and the forced compulsory school system. This goes into the real silver bullet for the death of the validity of someone like me at all, or the validity of anyone that doesn't have a degree, is that they stole through their masterful, through the dark side's extreme mastery of 3D humanoid mind control, they stole the perception of what real authorities are. Like shamans, herbalists, sunshine, soul Christ, Helios, Christ Sophia, Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, or someone like Reverend Deborah, the Buddha, and replace these true authors of spirit and real humanity with the big boys institutionalized false self Decepticons, the false self version. And now, with the advents of quantum physics and full disclosure, the fact that we're entering past the age of Chinese water torture drip style disclosure, I called it, gradually and slowly into the era of full disclosure. That means that we can speak the truth more freely, and the age of secrecy is soon about to come to an end. And so, with the advent of quantum physics and full disclosure, most of their foundations, the dark side's foundations, are crumbling before our eyes as lies, and secrets cannot be a foundation anyway. Now, can they? Similarly, without 6 lips, kisses, and sex with one woman, periandropause will likely kick my ass and take my energy. Well, that'd be if I have no access to medicine and no other humans, if I stayed away from other humans and medicine. If I don't face my coerced narcissism. That's right. At least about 95% of it. If I'm not willing to face the majority, the vast lion's share of my psychological disturbance, then I will remain a hermit. Visiting the truth versus living the truth. Okay, perhaps these videos have proven that I can be a person who can visit the truth. But as Gandhi said, you must be the change you want to see in the world. And as a man who told me his chant is Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme, calls himself Rainbow Ray, and I was telling him, I met him right when I was deeply into studying the Mahayana, and he said, well, you've got to live the Buddha. You've got to live the teachings, man. And so, visiting the truth versus living the truth, and living the truth, you become the truth. The more that I'm living in the truth, or existing even in the truth, you become the truth. So psychological shadow work is it's just like the blind spot in your rearview mirror, as I say, when driving an automobile. If you can't see what is there, you could easily get into an accident. And this is why the person high on the scale of narcissistic personality disorder, their whole life is, most of it turns into an accident, it seems, because they have no self-control. They believe they are the false self. Life is a competition, and they're going to suck your energy dry. So they become the blind spot. It's quite sad. If you can't see what is there, you could easily get into an accident unforeseen. If you never examine your for example, with somebody with high on the scale of NPD, will never admit there's anything wrong with them ever. And that's a huge red flag, because they can never heal if they can't admit something's wrong. If you never examine your complex trauma from childhood or youth, in my case, you'll never, because it was in my 20s, you'll never be able to improve. The holographic inserts, misperceptions, and false ideas will distract you and prevent your awareness. Okay, face it. Lucifer, the demiurge, his archons, they did a great job in distracting you from your path if you allow this. They'll prevent and pervert your awareness. It is often much easier to tell others the truth or offer advice than to face the fact that no one is going to save you. I am not going to save you. The best I can do is offer some helpful tips I've learned. Sell you books or courses, or give you hours of wisdom that I've ascertained and gleaned and read about and practiced. No one is going to save you, particularly for the necessity of doing your essential shadow work. The archons, the Illuminati, the black magicians, the dark side, the evil spirits and evil ETs, they will always, different ones depending on how insane your psychopathic you are, they will always leverage your fears. They will leverage how your fears have a way of hiding themselves. You see, since they helped the controllers create the Matrix, they designed the whole thing so that they want the loose, they want us repressed, they want sexual misery and loneliness. They like it. Okay? It's a very important point that David Icke has said hundreds, tens of thousands of times. Very few people have the courage to accept, because it means you have to be responsible. It's the truth, though. Evolution is not possible with big secrets, because they steal the possibility. If I had big secrets, I would have died of illness probably by now. They hide themselves in your subconscious. So likewise, if the majority of humanity obey those who keep secrets to control us, we will never be free as a species. The age of Aquarius represents freedom from deception, however. And the false rulership of the shadows, false authority of secrecy is over. Those days are very numbered, and that's why they're investing so much money, power, and time into all these takeover plans. Because the real new world has ancient rules that cannot be broken. The law of non-interference, the law of free will. Respect, freedom, discernment, harmony, and pure clarity are the laws of nature, you know? You don't have to you don't kill something unless, you know, you need it for food, or you have to not, you know, to survive. It's wrong, you know? Nature doesn't have killings, shooting sprees, or weather weapon attacks. Violence is a very tiny part of nature. As you can see here from around me right here, it's mostly totally peaceful. The fake-ass hall of mirrors of narcissist vampires controlling the world is finally coming to an end. P. Diddy is showing us where obedience to secrecy leads us. Maybe, aside from financial slavery and fear and anxiety, this is why people are not creative. They assume that if you're creative, you have to suck cock or be a cruel sadist, narcissistic predator, or a psychopath, or just totally insane, or addicted to hard drugs or alcohol, or in some other way out of control to access the subconscious mind. Whereas what I've noticed is that if the better I am at meditating, the more clear-headed I am, the more in discipline in my diet, my thinking, my action is, the more I can create a space for creativity, especially without a sexual partner. The space for creativity is only available when I transcend the fear and worried, and you know, and I'm really no better or worse than anyone else. I'm a spirit inhabiting a human flesh suit with my pluses and my minuses. However, the future is bright and clear, lit by unencumbered, radiant sunlight. But every secret can become an obstacle to get there, or it can become your greatest ally if you defeat it. Often the exact part of yourself you must remove to awaken those secrets. For sure, right? The rule of secrecy is somnambulism. If you don't remove your secrets, they rule over you. Or if they have emotional powers in your subconscious, they rule over you. The obedient humanoid slave's religion is violently coerced deception. For in pure clarity, we can finally, after millions of years of the Anunnaki doing all this to us, we can finally evolve and have free energy that we reverse engineered from them. We can have free travel as one being, and as one being, humanity will finally live in peace and be reborn as its divine self in many bodies. After transcending the mental prison of secrets and lies that we've been, coerced through war and horrible abuse in for 1,000,000 years. Yeshua said, You do not light a lantern and put it under a bushel. Or you do not hide a lantern and you light the lantern for the whole to see. Something like that. I probably butchered that quote. In the Gospel of Thomas, he also said, I believe it was the Gospel of Thomas, if you do not serve your gifts, they will destroy you. If you serve your gifts, they will save you. Or something to that effect. If you hold and keep secrets, they will rule over you. Or if you believe liars that live by secrets. If you ascend in the true light, you'll access the Akashic records, like dozens of people you can check out here on YouTube. They can read the Akashic records in remote view, as we have entered the post-apocalypse age. We have entered the post-apocalypse secrets era, as Mark Passio has said, and apocalypse means revealing. We're entering the age of light, true light, not Lucifer's fake blue light that gives you cancer. The true light of awareness, where secrets are known to be for losers, losers of the past. When all is known to those who have awakened into the pure clarity of the one Christ Spirit, eventually of all beings. That eventually she rules us all, the sacred Mother Christ Sophia. If you enjoyed this content and you haven't already, make sure to click subscribe for more. Follow me on Odyssey.com or Rumble if you want to go deeper with me. And if you have the courage, as always, my family, create a great day.